What is up, guys? Delboy here. So this weekend we have one of the standout fights of the year so far, and that is between Jorge Linares and Vasyl Lomachenko. This fight is going to be for Jorge Linares' WBA lightweight title. Vasyl Lomachenko is moving up to his third weight class and obviously aiming to become a freeweight world champion. And arguably this is one of the toughest fights of Lomachenko's career so far. It's a fight that I'm hyped for, I've got to say. Let's briefly talk about both guys. We'll start with the champion, Jorge Linares. He has a record of 44 wins, 3 defeats, 0 draws, 27 of those 44 wins coming by way of knockout. Whereas Vasyl Lomachenko has a record of 10 wins, 1 defeat, 0 draws, 8 of those 10 wins coming by way of stoppage. And Jorge Linares is listed as 5'8" with a 69-inch reach, whereas Vasyl Lomachenko is listed as 5'7" with a 65.5-inch reach. So Linares is an inch taller with a 3.5-inch reach advantage. So Linares is the naturally bigger man. He is used to the lightweight division and he's campaigned there now for several years, and I feel it's his optimum weight class. So I feel, obviously going into the fight, Jorge Linares is going to be the bigger man. He's longer, and he also, in my opinion, has the power advantage. So I feel physically, Linares does have quite a few advantages here, in terms of his size, his power. He does have some advantages, and that's going to be interesting to see how Lomachenko deals with that. Especially the power, because if Linares does land on Lomachenko flush, I'm going to be interested to see how he takes it. For my money, you could argue that Linares might be the hardest hitting guy Lomachenko's fought, so it will be interesting to see how Lomachenko deals with that power, and especially at lightweight. Stylistically, I think the fight will gel well. Linares is a smooth operator. He's a bit of a boxer puncher, puts his shots together well. He's got nice hand speed. He's got snap behind his punches. He's a really creative fighter. He's got a good outside game. He can box, he can pop his jab, look for that right hand behind it, but he's really creative on the mid-range with hooks to the body, changing levels from body to head, etc, etc. And he does look great against stationary opponents. That is when Linares looks his best. You can go back to the Kevin Mitchell fight or the Crawler fights, for example. He looked really good in those fights. The issue is there that, Lomachenko is the furthest thing away from a stationary opponent you could probably get. So I am intrigued to see how Linares deals with Lomachenko's movement and his defense, basically. I mean, if you go back to Linares' last fight, he fought a southpaw called Mercito Hester, and in that fight, obviously Linares clearly won it, but Hester done a really good job of making Linares fall short a lot. And he made Linares take the lead. He made Linares be the aggressor. And I felt, although Linares won, he looked a little bit befuddled at times with Hester's movement. And if Hester let his hands go a little bit more, that fight would have been a lot more competitive. But he just didn't let his hands go. But the movement of Hester and the southpaw stance, I really felt gave Linares a lot of issues. Linares couldn't get his timing down because of the movement. And he really had a hard time cutting the ring off. I don't think Linares is great at cutting the ring off. And if Hester was actually a bit more active, like I said, that fight would have been really, really interesting. Defensively, Lomachenko is better than Hester. He's a lot more versatile. He can fight on the outside, he can box, he can move, but he can also jump in and out, get on the inside, do some combinations, work, and then exit the pocket without taking damage. He is very good at spinning his opponents and keeping them off balance. I really feel Linares is going to struggle to deal with that. To me, he does his best work when his opponents are stationary, when he can plant his feet, and when he can really let his hands go. Like I said, to me, he's not a great front foot fighter, and I feel he's going to take that role in this fight. I can't see Lomachenko obliging him by coming forward and playing the pressure fighter. Like I said, to me, Linares is best when somebody's coming onto him and is flat-footed and stationary. When he's fighting those aggressive guys, he's going to look good. But I feel movement can befuddle this guy. We saw that in his last fight with Hester. So I do have reservations on how Linares is going to cut the ring off and pressure Lomachenko. So the question is, if you're Linares, how do you even approach this fight? Because, like I said, for my money, Lomachenko is not going to voluntarily fight on the front foot. Maybe he might surprise me, but I just don't see that happening. So does Linares try and play the pressure fighter? Or does he try and actually play the outboxer? He's got longer reach, he's taller, he's longer. Could Linares actually try to out-jab Lomachenko and keep it on the outside? Could he win a boxing match with Lomachenko if it's purely kept on the outside? Could he win a boxing match that way? I'm not so sure. I'm really not. I mean, Nicholas Walters, people before that fight were saying about the jab, how great Nicholas Walters' jab is, and it was taken away. And what was left? Nothing. I'm not sure Linares can fight this on the outside and try to keep it long. I'm just not sure that's going to work. Because Lomachenko brings great head movement. He can slip the jab, get on the inside, do his work and spin out. And, Linares is going to be standing there like a chump. So, if you're Linares, how do you approach this fight? Do you actually go back to the Salido fight and try to fight as a pressure fighter? I know that's not Linares, but maybe he might have to do that. Maybe Linares just needs to try and impose his size and try and hope his power actually takes a toll. You'd imagine he's going to be the stronger guy. He's been used to fighting lightweights. Maybe Linares plays the pressure fighter, tries to work the body, tries to get up close, tries to replicate the Salido fight, but is that him? No. And we've seen since the Salido fight, when guys try to pressure Lomachenko, guys like Souza, he got pieced up and he got outboxed and he quit. So I'm not quite sure that same vulnerability to pressure exists for Lomachenko anymore. He dealt with Souza handily, and Souza brings good pressure. He has power, he works the body, he's good up close, and Lomachenko dealt with him really well. Souza's a big boy, and Lomachenko handled him. So Linares playing the pressure fighter, I just can't see that working either. If I'm Linares, he's a quick guy, he has power, he's a snappy puncher. Maybe he needs to play the Marquez role, play the counter-puncher, and try to time Lomachenko when Lomachenko's, throwing a combination. I feel that is Linares' best chance, a puncher's chance, a counter-puncher's chance. Linares can counter-punch, so maybe that's a route he goes down. He needs to be studying Lomachenko's movements, he needs to be studying the tape, and he needs to be trying to find some sort of pattern that Lomachenko does to capitalise on. But the thing is with Lomachenko, he rarely does the same thing twice. You see him make a mistake in a fight, and he doesn't do that again. Apart from the Salido fight, how many times can you say you've seen Lomachenko make the same mistake twice in a fight? It doesn't really happen. He adjusts very well. So as good as Linares is, I really feel he's up against it here. He's just outskilled. He's bigger, he's longer, he hits harder. He's got more experience in the division, but he's outskilled here. He really is. So I've got to go for a Lomachenko points win. I do think Linares has a puncher's chance. I do rate Linares. I think at his best he's a very good fighter, but he's going to have to knock Lomachenko out to win, in my opinion, and I can't really see that happening. I've got to say, I think that Lomachenko is just too versatile, both in terms of defense and offense. The movement will be too much, and Linares is going to be struggling to time Lomachenko. His volume is going to be very low in this fight, and he's going to get outpointed. That's just how I see it. I don't think he's going to quit. I don't think he's going to get stopped, but he's going to get outpointed. What do you guys think about this fight? How do you guys see it going? Do you give Linares any type of chance? What do you think? Peace.